would like just to welcome all to this webinar. It's a webinar about listening to young voices in the church. Our voices count, youth, African youth sharing their lived experiences of synodality. So we hope to have an exciting moment and fruitful dialogue here that would enable us to really think deeply about the synodal process. Without further ado, I would like just to jump into the first question that I would like to pose to them, and we will go alphabetically, starting with Agathe, and then Benson, and then Dominique, and then Prisca. So the first question that I would like to pose is briefly tell us what is your experience of synodality so far since the process began. Welcome, Agathe.
Thank you so much, Father Momanyi, for this opportunity you are giving us today to also make our voice heard. Today, I can say, as a person who have been active and engaged in the Catholic Action Movement, I feel like privileged to live this synodality, because not all young people or not all young Catholic people have this opportunity to live their faithful, to also participate in the mission of evangelization of the church. Being in this leadership position, I was privileged, and I'm always privileged like it is today to speak for the young people. And so far I have experienced, I have feel like included, and also I have participated in so many activities or decisions the church have been taking for the young people in their mission of accompaniment. One of them can be like when it is asking young people to hear from them on the realities young people are facing in their universities or in their real lives. Being a youth representative, I was privileged to speak for them. But we can say also that this process of synodality has been happened only when they need to hear from the church, when they need to hear from the young people, not only when as young people we need them. Sometimes, yes, we can say we are not really heard by our church. And today we think that maybe this is now the opportunity to speak about it and also to share our experiences. So far, we can say we are privileged, and yes, not all young people have been in this position. We can develop that more later. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Father, and thank you everyone for having me. I had a very exciting and unique initial experience of the Synod because I had the opportunity to actually attend the opening at the Vatican and have the opportunity to share my own personal experience. And I think other than the Synod that was actually on the youth, this was the first time that young people were actually a part of the Synod experience, a part of the opening, being present there in the first place. And I think that already gave me a mindset that, hey, the church is looking to young people to be involved. If the church wants to be a listening church, it cannot be listening if the young people are not present. And something that our International Youth Advisory Body was chanting in the streets of Rome was no more Synod without the young people, because young people need to be present all the time. But naturally, once leaving the opening of the Synod, I knew that most of the young people did not have that same kind of experience. Firstly, don't know what a Synod is or what synodality is. So I found that I first had to break down perceptions of what this is all about, and that it is something that should be embraced. So that is still a continuous journey for me to help young people get on board with what synodality is actually all about. Because the experience I had at the Vatican was being able to be a part of the listening circle amongst cardinals, bishops, priests, lay people, young people of different genders, a truly diverse listening circle. And that is something that I would like everyone to experience, the fact that we are all treated equally.
Merci pour l'opportunité que vous nous donnez de nous prononcer sur notre expérience concernant la synodalité. Il faut dire que j'ai entendu parler de ce concept déjà en octobre et c'est une belle expérience que nous allons vivre avec les jeunes parce que travaillant au niveau des jeunes, nous sentons la nécessité de nous exprimer sur les questions qui touchent le rôle des jeunes dans l'Église. Donc, c'est une très belle opportunité et nous remercions le pape François qui a pensé à impliquer davantage les jeunes dans ce processus qui va nous permettre de donner notre voix et de pouvoir dire réellement ce que les jeunes peuvent apporter dans le processus de l'Église famille de Dieu et de l'Église qui marche ensemble dans la communion et aussi dans la fraternité. Donc, c'est une belle expérience pour nous en tant que jeunes, pour nous qui travaillons avec les jeunes de différents pays, de participer à ce concept. Donc, nous sommes très excités, très contents de prendre part à ce concept. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you very much, Prisca, and we are looking forward to listen to your experience further as we move on in this webinar. Now let's move on to the second question to all the panelists, and we'll move back to in the alphabetical order. So the second question goes this way: what is the contribution of the youth in this process, and why do the young people present in this webinar think that their voices count?
And why our voice count today? As a baptized, as youth, full of creativity, full of talent, we have our place in the church. We don't need to be consulted when the church needs us, but we need to be consulted in all processes. And usually what we experience is when the church needs us, they call to hear the youth. But when they are taking decisions concerning the youth are not there to speak for themselves. It's other people speaking for them, which sometimes is not really representing effectively the need of the young people. So today, we really want to be heard, and in the way that we have to be included in all the processes. One of the experiences I really see is that our religious leaders are inaccessible for us young people. Why do we have to leave that? To meet a bishop or to meet, let's say, an archbishop or a cardinal, it is like you have to work in the desert for 40 days. It is very difficult. We need to, I don't know how I can put it well, but we really need to make things easier for young people. When more they are dedicating their life for the church, they are also contributing in the mission of evangelization. There is a lot of frustration sometimes some of us can experience during this commitment. And this is something which also push them to move out from the Catholic Church or to really give a bad testimony of the Catholic Church when they are in certain forums. So for me, young people need to be included in all levels and to build this intergenerational dialogue between the religious leaders, between our bishops, and also the young people who are also continuing this mission of evangelization in our milieu. Like for the case of the YCS in our student milieu, we are also leading this evangelization mission. What we are asking is more support from the church and more accompaniment. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Agathe. I think that's quite inspiring to remind us that as baptized people in the church, the young, energetic youth want to be included because of their creativity and they have a lot to offer the church. Feel welcome to respond to that second question. Why does the youth voice count? Why does your voice count in this process?
Thank you very much, Father. This is a very good opportunity for us. And as I mentioned earlier, when we get the opportunity to speak for young people, we do speak for young people. Youth voices cannot be questioned in this process. The church itself is youthful. But what we see is that the young people are relegated to the other spaces within the church. They are outside of the governance, they're outside of decision making. Decisions are made for them. So we start to see then that they don't participate in this process. Even there's some feedback that's coming as well to say the way that these questions are being posed to us as young people, they are not youth friendly. And also the process of coming up with the questionnaire, possibly they strongly feel they needed to have a bit of consultation of young people so that it responds to them. Because the challenge with young people, which is what we are crying for as well, is if processes are not friendly, the response then will not be as much as we want. So it's also important that their voices are heard so that this process is more youth friendly, understand them, understand their concerns. And also the other thing we need to know is that youths feel that there is really lack of that journeying together in the church, accompaniment. And at this point in time, this is the point we need to raise. This is the time we need to raise the concern of the young people. In our example or experience within the YCS and also other youth groups that we work with, chaplains themselves, they become inaccessible, and sometimes they are also judgmental to young people. And these things are what are pushing the young people away from participating in the mission. The appointment of the chaplains itself, sometimes you wonder how these processes are done. Is this considered really looking at the kind of group this person is supposed to engage in? Is he able to engage with this group? So then the accompaniment then is lost because there is no connection, there's no communication. Young people are very creative, they are very, they have new ideas. So there are examples where young people want to bring in new ideas, but the chaplains, they are not yet moving at the same wavelength with young people. And then the young people feel this is not our space. They are not being accompanied. Young people have been left out a lot within the processes of the church, be it in decision making and also in the issues that affect them. The church is not responding to the concerns of the young people. And listening to them now is a good opportunity so that the church would start to respond and becomes relevant. Young people are in unemployment. How is the church responding to that? Because you can't differentiate me in outside the church and me within the church. Whatever is affecting me is going to affect the way I participate and also engage in church. How are we responding to those concerns? We have various groups of young people that are left out. We have young mothers. There's no accompaniment for those people. We have young youths that have grown up, possibly they're not yet married. There is no space to accompany those young people. So it's this time that we want to hear all those diverse voices of young people. How do they want to be accompanied? How do they want to participate? How do they want to journey in this mission that we are in? So it's very important that the voices of young people are heard in this time, to share without holding, but then sharing with the understanding that we want to build a church. And young people do want to participate. They do want to participate in the mission. But if they are not involved, if decisions are made for themselves, for them, and they will not definitely participate in the decisions that come after. So we cannot overemphasize the importance of young people in this point, in this synodality process. So their voices do count, and if we engage them, we'll get the responses from them. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I believe for any member of the community to feel like they are truly part of the church, young and old alike, they want to feel like they are loved and that they belong. And in order for that to happen, we first and foremost need to have an environment where we are able to listen to one another. We cannot be a loving church if we are not open to listening. And what young people often get told is that your time will come. You know, the youth are the future of the church. But what Christus Vivit indicates is that the youth are not the future, but the now. And young people now have this amazing opportunity through the synod to embrace that they are the now of the church, that their voices can be heard now and not later, or at the time when people would eventually like to come to them, or unfortunately in many cases when other people have passed away. So now is the time to be able to listen to the voices. When I joined the opportunity of the opening at the Synod with the International Youth Advisory Body, I think one of the biggest takeaways that each of us had was that initial invitation, the fact that we were asked to be present amongst everyone there, that we had the opportunity to share our voices and be a part of those listening circles. The fact that they aimed for diversity and that young people were part of that. That is something that everyone should want to be a part of. But if young people are not invited, first and foremost, and that is never going to happen. So it starts with us initiating those invites, ensuring that young people are for the very least invited to those kinds of opportunities. And now is the platform, so go ahead and embrace it. And not by gathering information from surveys and questionnaires. If we are in a listening process, we need to be able to actually hear what the young people say. And young people, in turn, need to be able to listen to what others need to say as well. That is what it is all about, by having diversity within this entire process. Because like we said, we cannot be a listening church if the youth are not present in that. And that is something that I am working on bringing to my diocese in particular as the coordinator, to ensure that parishes are inviting young people into those conversations, because we cannot truly be having an effective synodal process if young people, and especially young women, are involved in those processes.
I like the way you said that the youth are the now in the church, not the future of the church. So that's kind of quite striking there. Thank you for reminding us that, and I think we need to hear that kind of a voice quite more often in the church, rather than thinking about the future, but the now.
Merci, mon père. Alors, pour revenir à cette question, pourquoi est-ce que les jeunes pourquoi est-ce que la voix des jeunes compte? Je voudrais ajouter à ce que les autres panélistes ont dit, que la jeunesse, c'est l'avenir. Tout simplement parce que dans une famille, tout part on va dire, du commencement. Quand tu es petit et que déjà tu es impliqué dans ce qu'on fait au niveau de la famille, la relève est certainement assurée. Mais quand à la base, il n'y a pas d'implication, il n'y a pas de responsabilité qui est donnée à la jeunesse, après cela va devenir difficile parce qu'on aura une jeunesse qui n'est pas vraiment orientée, ou du moins qui n'est pas impliquée dedans. Alors que si à la base, la jeunesse, les jeunes ont des responsabilités, ont une écoute, ils se sentent écoutés, ils se sentent impliqués, ils pourront donner le meilleur d'eux. Parce que déjà, ce que nous avons comme atout en tant que jeunes, c'est que nous sommes forts, nous avons aussi nos esprits de créativité, nous sommes intelligents et nous pouvons donner le meilleur de nous-mêmes à travers tout ce que nous apprenons déjà à l'école. Donc, c'est pour dire que la jeunesse a beaucoup à donner à l'Église. Mais si à la base, la jeunesse n'est pas impliquée, il serait vraiment difficile. Donc, l'Église a besoin de comprendre que les jeunes doivent être impliqués, doivent être écoutés et que ce que les jeunes vont dire, ça doit être pris en compte. Ça ne doit pas ressembler seulement à juste parce que on veut juste dire c'est un effet de mode parce qu'on doit juste avoir une réunion pour juste les écouter et ne pas prendre en compte ce que les jeunes vont dire. Donc, ce que je voudrais dire à ce niveau, c'est qu'il faudrait qu'en plus du fait qu'on implique la jeunesse, il faudrait que ce que la jeunesse va donner comme préoccupation ou donner comme suggestion pour la bonne marche de l'Église, il faudrait que cela puisse être pris en compte. Parce que les jeunes ont beaucoup à donner à cause de leur vigueur, à cause de leur intelligence. Pas que les autres ne sont pas intelligents, mais de leur vigueur, de leur créativité, de leur force, que ce soit physique, que ce soit mental. La jeunesse a beaucoup à donner. Et donc, ce concept de synodalité est le bienvenu parce que, à travers ce concept, les jeunes qui va dire, autrefois, n'avaient pas peut-être la capacité de dire ce qu'ils pensaient, ou bien de donner, de partager leur vision, ce sera l'opportunité maintenant de dire clairement que nous, en tant que jeunes, voici comment nous voyons que les choses peuvent marcher. Également aussi avec la technologie, avec les nouvelles manières de, on va dire, de penser maintenant. Quand je dis une nouvelle manière de penser, je fais allusion à la technologie maintenant qui prend de l'ampleur et que les jeunes ont cette capacité de maîtriser ces éléments-là. On peut jouer notre rôle qui est d'évangéliser nos frères et sœurs, nos pères, les sensibiliser à rentrer dans l'Église ou du moins à jouer leur participation, à prendre toute leur place. Parce que demain, ce sera les jeunes d'aujourd'hui qui constitueront la relève de demain. Donc, si cette jeunesse est formée, écoutée, on peut dire que l'Église, l'avenir de l'Église est assuré et que les fondamentaux au niveau de l'Église, de la théologie, de la vie spirituelle et de la vie physique même et technique aussi seront assurés. Donc, il est clair que la jeunesse a toute sa place dans l'Église, que ce soit au début, au milieu, à la fin, nous avons toute notre place. Donc, je voudrais vraiment nous inviter aussi en tant que jeunes à ne pas rester derrière et à prendre toute notre place dans ce concept de synodalité. Voilà, merci beaucoup.
Thank you so much, Prisca. We you've really highlighted one thing that the previous speakers have not really touched so much on. The use of technology. The youth are technological savvy, and this could be used as a way of evangelizing, that the youth can take a leading role in it. And now we come to a form of a discussion, a form of internal discussion between the panels, by pointing out some few things that I see that emerged. For me, the issue of the idea of creativity of the youth. It is kind of something overarching from what the panelists have shared. I don't know what the panelists have to say to that in how the creativity will really help deepen and grow, help the church to grow much more than it is now, and how can the youth be included more to be helped to bring this creative aspect of their young and vibrant lives into the church. So I will welcome Benson to start.
Thank you very much, Father. I think youth, the creativity of young people can really contribute a lot to the church and also evangelization. You know, young people outside the church, they are really creative and they are applying themselves. If we tap into that, bring it into church, I'm sure we're going to liven up the church, especially for the young people. I think if we would like to take a survey around during the time of COVID and even now, we're still in the pandemic, there are a lot of parishes that started to do online broadcasting. And if you would like to check, young people were the ones behind most of those initiatives. So they came and gave that initiative to the church, and this is now where we are. We continued to evangelize, we continued to connect because of that creativity of young people. Mm-hmm. So if we allow and create the space for young people to be creative, I'm sure we'll be able to extend and also do even much better. Mm-hmm. If you look at how active young people are on social media has now become the trend, has now become the main source of information for young people. How do we tap them if we are not on those platforms? Mm-hmm. They themselves are the ones that know how to be on those platforms. So let's allow them to be there, play on those platforms, evangelize, and they also feel part and connected with the mission of the church. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've really been enjoying the discussion on evangelization.
Okay.
And our young people need to remember that we are all called to be missionary disciples of the church at the end of the day. And I feel that often our young people might be waiting around to be invited, to be asked to be included in certain processes and things that are happening within the church. But as we've said, the time is now. And we as young people don't need to be waiting for others to invite us, but take action now. Speak up now. If people aren't inviting you, ask how you can get involved, and have thoughts and initiation and bring those proposals to the table. You do not have to wait, but bring your voice up to the table now. So that's something that I'd like to emphasize on, that this is an amazing opportunity for evangelization, but it's going to take all of our young people to get our friends and our family and the rest of the community involved. Don't wait for others to do it. Be that person to ensure that our friends and our family and everyone are part of this conversation, so that synodality can truly be present in our church.
Alors, en ce qui concerne la créativité des jeunes pour l'évangélisation, comment est-ce que les jeunes peuvent utiliser la créativité? Je pense que Agathe l'a déjà souligné. On va plus s'apaisantir, comme je le disais, sur la technologie, donc les réseaux sociaux, parce que nous savons que maintenant les jeunes sont beaucoup sur les réseaux sociaux. Donc, par exemple, on peut utiliser des vidéos, on peut faire des vidéos, on peut également faire des posts pour faire la sensibilisation. Déjà, quand on parle de synodalité, je ne suis pas sûre que beaucoup de jeunes aient eu l'information concernant ce concept. Donc, comment est-ce que nous, jeunes, nous pouvons impliquer davantage nos amis? C'est déjà de partager au niveau des réseaux sociaux, que ce soit Facebook, WhatsApp, les différentes vidéos qui ont déjà été réalisées, ou du moins sur la question de la synodalité, et le partager.
Thank you very much. I think technology keeps coming back and into this conversation quite often. And Benson seems to have something to say.
I would like just to echo what Dominique was saying earlier on about a listening circle that was created at the time they went for the launch. I think we need to understand and embrace the concept of a listening circle in this process of synodality, especially with the young people. We need to drop everything, everyone come together, a priest, the ordained, the faithful, everyone. As we sit with the young people, let's take off all these hierarchies and all that, so that we can listen to the young people. So in a listening circle, it's really a safe space where people are going to be listened to, and they know that what we are saying is actually in a safe space, and what we're saying is going to be listened to, and what we're saying is going to be actioned on. So I think it's something that as the process is going, let's look into creating more of listening circles with the young people so that they can open up. Because the moment we keep it to, we still have that gap between the young people and the others within the church. If we keep this process a bit too rigid and also not youth friendly. So I think I would like to echo that, to say I think listening circles are a really good concept in terms of engaging, especially young people. It gives them that opportunity to share openly.
Yeah, just creating a safe space for the youth where they can easily open up and share their ideas for the church. Let me move on a bit to a third question, a third round of questions to our panelists. So the third question is, what message would you like to share with the youth who are watching?
One of the message I have today to share with the young people is that Pope Francis have given us a very beautiful gift, which is Christus Vivit. And I invite all the youth to really look at the Christus Vivit. There they will have all the answers of their questionings about what is my involvement, how can I participate in the church, where is my place within the church. But also for the young people really to go and learn about their faith. Formation is very important, because today, if you are not really well formed, if you don't really have knowledge about your Catholic faith, it will be very difficult for you to come and to make your voice heard, but also to participate. We are talking about participation. We want to be heard, we want to participate, but we also need to form ourselves. We don't need also to wait to be included. It is our place as baptized. We need to take part actively on the church activities, on the church mission. as faithful as a baptized person. For young people, how, like in French, we say la balle est dans votre camp. It is up to us to take up this opportunity the synodality have given us. Thank you.
3 main reminders for our young people. Firstly, that your voice matters. It doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, how old you are, how involved you've been. You are part of the church community, and the church community loves and wants to hear from you. You matter. The second point is that the time is now. We're not waiting for opportunities. The time is now. This is the opportunity. Embrace it. We've been speaking for so long on the issues that we are facing and what we'd like. This is what we've been waiting for. Embrace it and utilize it, because the time is now. The third point is get involved and get others involved as well. We previously spoke about the listening circles and how great and effective it is. Don't wait for your church or parish to start one. Get your own circle going. If you don't understand how exactly that works, visit synod.va website. It's absolutely amazing, and it provides all the materials and things that you need. So get involved and have initiative.
Alors, merci, Padre. Je veux inviter aussi les jeunes qui sont avec nous à participer à la vie de l'Église. Je dirais tout simplement que nous devons nous considérer comme un membre du corps, c'est-à-dire que nous sommes soit le pied ou le bras. Donc, nous avons forcément notre rôle à jouer. Donc, s'il y a quelque chose qui fait défaillance, s'il y a quelque chose qui ne va pas bien, si un membre du corps humain ne se porte pas bien, donc il y a quelque chose qui ne va pas. Donc, les jeunes, on doit savoir que nous sommes un membre du corps humain et donc nous devons participer. Ne pas être passif, mais dire ce que nous pensons dans la sincérité, et puis aussi savoir que notre avenir dépend d'aujourd'hui. Tout ce qui se décide sans nous ne peut pas peut-être faire notre bonheur demain. Donc, il faudrait qu'on ait cela à l'esprit et participer pour le bonheur de tous. Voilà. Merci beaucoup.